Hello, this is Michael Enso with Advertising Report Card, and today we are doing a report card on Mountain Movers. They are located in the ATX region, and we're going to dive deeper into what they can do to drive more business with SEO, Google Ads, and social ads, plus things that we can work on the website that'll increase conversions so that when you're spending money on SEO, on advertising, in general, driving traffic to your website, even if it's giving your business card to someone, you want to make sure that it's built to convert. So with that being said, a quick introduction about how this works. We're going to do an initial review of your marketing strategy, and then this is the video recorded overview of that portion where we're going to show you what you can do to improve your strategy. After this, we'll do a Q&A discussion on this report and anything else that you want us to dive deeper into. If there's something that isn't touched enough in this report, you can let us know, and then we'll dive deeper into those sections. And last but not least, give you guidance on what you need next. What are your next steps? What's going to be the best ROI, bang for your buck? What's going to get you there faster? Also, in addition, you'll have a list of assets which are already being added to your report. You'll also see it in your folder as well, all the different reports that we pulled in culmination of this one report that's going to give you all the guidance that you need. A quick review of our goals and objectives is to make sure that we touch on each part of the channel of advertising online, from the website to SEO and how your website ranks on Google, using Google Ads and then also social ads to drive traffic in conjunction to SEO, and what your cost and opportunity is going to be in those areas. So let's jump right in. As far as a website goes, it's a fairly simple website in the essence that there's not hundreds of pages. It's very straight to the point. With that being said, there are still some errors that are showing on the site that can get fixed, and when they are fixed, will help with your SEO. We do review a lot of websites that have a lot of errors, but in this situation, you really don't have anything that you have to worry about on that front. There's more details about how this entire part of the report works. Instead of just reading off the PowerPoint, I'm going to jump into further detail and give a quick outline of some of these items. Low text to HTML ratio, what that means is that there's more code on the website than there is actual text. So when Google's crawling this page, it basically looks like it's blank. And an example of that is the service areas page. This is a core page on most websites because people want to know what areas you service. There's almost no content on this page at all, so it's a miracle that we're ranking in general for these core terms, because Google usually requires more than this to rank. We'll get into rankings here shortly, but that's why you're getting flagged on that. And also low word count in general across the website. So there's a lot of initial work just during the setup in the first month of any SEO program that you run that should cover that. Any managed SEO program is going to go in depth on these core pages because those are the main fundamental ones people will visit to read the information that you're providing about where you're located, what services you're offering, and other items of that nature. Another aspect of what Google's saying is that you have unminified JavaScript and CSS on your website. That's the code that positions the items on your site and then also makes them styled a certain way. As an example, CSS is what makes this text bigger and bolder than this text up here. It's because they have different styles, and that's done in the code. This code, when built up on a site, can cause the site to run slow. So that's the main issue that's being flagged right here, is that these items need to be minified, which is something that can be easily done, and once it's done once, no matter how many more pages you build, as long as you don't heavily alter the code, should be 100% fixed and you won't have any issues anymore. Next, on the notices side, we have some URLs redirected. That's not even really an issue. The main thing is that there's lacking of anchor text on links. That's a bigger issue. Still, not a big deal. Can get fixed. These are things that don't require overhauling a website. They just require some managed SEO so that these things are getting worked on. Throwing the smallest SEO hammer at these items will get them fixed, including 2 orphaned pages on the sitemaps. This is actually a little bit more interesting because a sitemap page is what Google uses to crawl a website. So if there's an issue with the sitemap pages, definitely going to want to look into those. So that's a major thing that you're going to want to cover. And other than that, getting these items fixed would be included in any regular SEO program. So no worries, nothing super huge outlier there. The benefit that you have, and I'm really glad that we have added this report to our section, is that you have a website built on WordPress. So minifying the JavaScript, changing the anchor links, fixing the sitemap links, all things that are easily done on WordPress. You're not looking at a big development fee or big development cost when it comes to these items. So I'm pretty happy about that. And other than that, you're on Bluehost, which is fine. So you're in a position right now to get these issues fixed. And once they're fixed, you shouldn't really have to worry about them too much anymore. And then also you have the Google remarketing script already on the page, which is through one of the plugins. So you are ahead of where you need to be to run ads. One thing I wanted to point out about the ads itself is it looks like you were in an express/local service ad campaign. Because if we go into your actual account, sort by all time, and go to where you gave us your access, we don't see anything. So that's pretty weird. You can see here there's filters, campaigns for all, ad groups for all. We're not excluding anything. Show the last 30 days, still nothing. And we go all the way back in this MCC till 2009. I'm a dinosaur. Been doing this for a very long time. So that's why it reads a date range that long, because this is we've been doing this a long time. So with that being said, the next thing I wanted to go into for the SEO is the page speed audit. Right now you're ranking at around a 64 as far as performance goes on mobile. Much faster on desktop, which is good. But on mobile, which is where about 50% or more of your traffic is going to come from, you are lacking in that department. It's taking a long time to load the entire page. There's some blocking time coming from Bluehost, which is a little odd. The overall layout itself is moving around and shifting for mobile responsiveness, which is having to do with how the site was built. And it's bringing your overall page speed index to 4 seconds, which Google is warning, saying, hey, this is a warning, this is an issue, get this fixed. Page speed is a ranking factor. It's a big ranking factor. This is something that can get fixed with one thing: minifying the JavaScript and CSS. Definitely an easy thing to accomplish. Next is CRO. So with the CRO report, what we're trying to get across is things that can help you convert more. And I wanted to just touch base on a few minor edits to the page that will definitely help you. First of all, on the home page, and we'll pull this up right now, you have a red button up here, which is great. Hover effect to purple, could give or take. I don't know if I'd move towards that necessarily. I think keeping the blue from your logo is what you try to do here with your button down here, and I like that, switching from red to blue, plus, red, white, and blue, always a good thing. But with that being said as well, this button is hidden because it's dark with some misshaded colors in the background, like the light to dark box. Then you have this black text that gets lost in the box as well. I would go ahead and make this button red, and I'd make it bigger than this button up here. This one might be a little thicker, but you might have it just big in general so people know it's like get a free moving quote. So that's one thing. Also, get a free moving estimate, switching up the copy from get a free quote to get a free moving estimate. People search for moving estimates, so it's good for SEO. Also, it switches the context of the button, so you're not just duplicating your button and changing the color. It's kind of like doing a report for school and just like adding some of the same text to the end of the paper so you hit that word count. You want to make sure that you're always doing things that are going to help with your SEO, expand the content, and then also split tests. So making this red is definitely going to stand out on this background, but overall I would work on getting this section figured out with the background so that what you're trying to convey here is something that people can easily see. If you switch this around and move it to mobile, let me go ahead and refresh this. One quick second. You can see that the text on mobile, let me zoom in here. So you can see the text on mobile is hidden in the background too. So you're going to want to get that fixed. The free quote's a little easier to see on mobile, but it's not super easy. It should be bigger still. You don't want anybody getting past this section. If people get past this section, it's good that they can see your reviews, but you'd rather them convert immediately than start scrolling around and trying to figure out a way for them to talk themselves out of working with you. Getting people to convert as fast as possible is a key. I have that notated in this report, but I wanted to give the talk track to follow along with it. Likewise, on the homepage, one area that I see room for improvement is the gap of content that's right next to this big block here. On desktop, let me refresh this real quick. On desktop, you have opportunity for a contact form right here, even if it's a simple one. So that's one thing to consider as well. If not that, then you have a lot of validation right here. Maybe move some validation in here or have a different quote section. You have validation here. Maybe move that up. Maybe have that image right below here and have that validation right below here and consolidate this section. I'm not the one to ever complain about reviews. I like reading reviews personally as a consumer, and also I think that they have a big impact on sales. So I don't want to remove reviews, but we do want to look at the layout here and figure out what we can do with this negative space, and then also shorten this homepage while also introducing additional content that might help you convert more. So there's a few things there in general that I wanted to go over. The biggest obstacle I see with the paid traffic is the form. We have a big form here. We got a big form. Now, you're going to get qualified leads from this form because there's so many questions. You're going to get less leads because there's so many questions. We've seen conversion rates as low as 3% for long form, but when people fill that form out, as long as you can get them on the phone and get them to respond to your email, they're easier to close because you have so much details about them that you could literally just read them their form entry back and get them to say yes 8 times in a row, and then they're going to sign up with you, just part of sales in general. We see anywhere between 10 to 25% conversion rates for optimized forms, which means that anywhere between 1 in 10 to 1 in 4 site visitors are filling that form out. At a 3%, you're in 1 in 30. At the end of the day, you're paying cost per click, whether it's SEO and you're doing organic work to build that traffic up, or with Google Ads, you're paying for that click, or with Facebook, you're paying to show your ad. End of day, how many people get to your site versus how many convert is your conversion rate. And if that conversion rate is low, on average, you're going to be making slower revenue through the website because it takes that many more people to get to the site to convert. So that's a huge thing to consider. Again, you're going to be getting some great quality leads from this if they have to fill out all this information. How many people are getting to this and saying, it's a little too much information, I'll fill out. Let me see who else is out there. Let me give someone else a call. Let me give these guys a call. Wait, where's their phone number? I don't see their phone number anywhere. Where's the phone number? You know what I mean? Click contact. There it is. So you understand the thought process is you're making it difficult for people to convert. You have a short form here, so it's not like there's a complete opposition against it. I think having the short form redirect to a thank you page with the long form is definitely the solution here. So if people want to volunteer information, at that point you can. We've actually had a situation where we were working with someone in the similar industry, and they had a form which was name, email, phone number, and then an option to click to get more information after that. And the thank you page was just a thank you page. It didn't have the additional form. They would literally go up to the contact form and then fill out more information on a second page because they wanted to give more information. So many more people are not. That's an outlier situation. But if you've already gotten someone to enter in their name, phone number, and email, and they go to a thank you page and say, hey, let's get you a quick quote, give us this information, boom, this person's already volunteered info, then introducing them to the long form contact form, nowhere near as a hurdle to get them to fill it out. We have some other information about the landing pages as well, including the service areas, but we're going to get into those on the SEO audit, so I don't want to be too repetitive here, and also want to format this to clean up the report, make sure you don't have any extra pages that are unneeded. Perfect. I usually do this throughout recording these reports because I always want to add extra things. So with the domain overview, we have a breakdown of what authority score is. Basically, authority is the same way that you imagine somebody who's an expert in the room. Everyone's going to want to come and ask them questions. It's the same way that Google sees a website. If your website is conducive of getting the job done with people who visit it when it comes to calling you, staying on your site, reading all the content that you have, using your blog for tips even, or filling out the form. Any type of meaningful interaction on your site lends to your authority. And then also, if people refer links to your website from other websites, whether it's info websites, citation websites, your reputation is based off of all these culminating factors. And what you can see is that out of all of your competitors, we're definitely not exactly where we want to be. What this graph indicates is where you are at as far as the competitors that you had mentioned. And you can see you're the blue line at the bottom of this graph regarding the overall amount of organic traffic that you're getting from the keywords that you're targeting. People that you are competing with are getting, over 10,000 visitors a month. So there's a lot of action in your area. It's a little competitive, but there's things that we can definitely improve upon. So we pulled up some of the keywords in Austin that you're not doing so hot with. Anything that's behind position page 20, you're never going to get found or drive traffic that way. So for your core keywords in Austin and North Austin, this is definitely an issue that you want to work on and get resolved. The thing that's really interesting to notice about these rankings is that you are pushing towards positions 20 and 30 with a very limited amount of SEO done on the actual website itself. If you look at the services, all your service pages are pretty minimal. If you had a page for Austin, for South Austin, for North Austin, and you were had information that's unique on each of those pages about what it is that you do, and then talk about these services, not only are you going to rank higher for these services, but you'll also rank higher for those regional searches, which are movers in Austin, Austin movers. If you start to build out your SEO on page, you're definitely going to get more traction on that. Having the FAQ is definitely beneficial. So you can definitely keep these sections on there and build them out even further. You can see that this page itself has the most content on it. So that's one thing that you definitely want to keep, looking at, but also having that on these individual pages is also beneficial as well. So that's the core thing I wanted to mention, is that you actually do have decent rankings for not having what seems to be a very competitive SEO strategy on site, which is what I wanted to point out to you. What you could do about the SEO, and this is in consistency with the strategy that I'm trying to discuss, is first of all, look at your competitors and see what they're doing correctly. And the main thing you're going to see is that they're going to have an individual service drop down with each individual service listed, and services that they don't want to show for, they're not making pages for. If you don't want to do small moves where you're taking a couch from downstairs to upstairs, don't put furniture moving. If you don't want to send a whole team to move one safe out of a house, don't do safe moving. If you don't have a storage unit, don't mention storage. But if you do have those items and you do want to attack them, make sure you have an individual page for them. In addition to that, some blog posts that link back to those main service pages, so you have supplemental and supporting content for those services. Same exact thing goes for region. What is in that region? How do you help people in that region? Some pictures from that region. Anything that we can do to build up and bulk out some of these areas that you're trying to service, so that when people want to see where you're at, it's showing up. And you can actually see in these sections here, you do have pages in the footer, but the main pages aren't in the navigation. So that's one thing to put into perspective here, is you're basically just duplicating the home page at this point and having some more content. But that's one of the main reasons why I think that you do rank in the way that you do, is because once you click on these navigation links in the bottom, the most built out pages are here. The service pages is what's missing. So there's a lot of opportunity to build that section out on the SEO strategy. Also on the backlinks, whoever was doing SEO for you at one point in time, because these are not done by regular people. And what I mean by normal people is SEO people. You can see in the backlink section here, you have a lot of toxic related links. And what does that mean? What is a toxic link? Well, it's ones that are usually created for the main focus of just getting people to rank. So Google sees this and they're going to think of it as problematic, right? So you can see here ABC local citations, and then it has your listing. It looks like you have ABC biz citations. and these are duplicate content that's just posted on a bunch of other pages pointing to your website. Typically, the only type of people that would do that are SEO people operating in the gray/black hat section, where they're using things called blog networks or PBNs. And the point of those is to be able to create a bunch of backlinks for a website that doesn't have any backlinks right now. If you look at the overview of all of your backlink profile, 82% of all links pointed to your website are considered toxic. So disavowing these links, having whoever's doing this stop, and then start working on building proper backlinks from pages that are going to be beneficial to you will help move your authority score in the right direction. Right now you have an authority score, but you can see that it's already starting to fall off, because when you have backlinks like this, before they get identified as toxic, they might help move the needle, but if you have too many toxic backlinks pointing to your website, you can actually get your domain blacklisted from ranking, so you don't want to have that ever happen. And then I have some more notes about referred domains and analyzed backlinks from that section, but the main thing you just have to worry about is these toxic backlinks. The other areas are more educational for your purpose of understanding this report. The overall highlight is we don't want toxic backlinks. And then thereafter, with Google Ads, I wanted to mention again, we didn't see any campaigns in here, so it must have been Google Express or local service ads that you were running. And then also, we didn't see anything that we could track third party at all from the domain. So that's one thing that I wanted to point out. I'm going to circle back to this and run you through the research that we did on keywords so you can understand the cost per keyword that you're going to be dealing with. And last but not least, the social ads audit. The point of this is to look at all ads ran by all of your competitors and look for where the opportunities are, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and what you can focus on. So first thing is Einstein Moving Company had 0 ads. Two Men and a Truck always have ads running. So you can bet that they do, because they're a franchise, so they have an overall corporate marketing program. Typically a lot of these ads from them are recruiting ads. So that's what these 3 are. Escape a dead-end job, get paid to work out, things of that nature. And also get people to sign up for franchises. So a little bit not ideal. But then you also have these big, Super Bowl style commercials where you have like the full camera crew come out. These are not necessary. We get results from ads that are just meant for local companies, speaking to local people about their local services and being honest companies. You don't need to have some huge corporate branding effort to do well with social ads. So I actually use this company as a reference to what we're doing and making sure that what we do is direct, and we're speaking with, this is what we do, short and long distance moves, residential and corporate, we're offering these discounts, this is our starting rate. There's all these different options that you have, but you don't even need to have a movie, just images of your crew working. The big thing to consider is that your competitors are not working on this. If you look at 3 Men Movers, nothing's there. Blue Whale does have ads, but one thing that you should look at as far as Blue Whale's ads go is that they're very direct and local. The only thing is they're not working on this at all. This ad could be working, it could not be working. Best of Austin 2015. Pretty sure we could beat that out strategically. Ad was launched June 2022. 9 months ago. They're obviously not looking at this. Maybe they don't even know the ad is still running. Maybe they haven't been getting results. If you hit get quote, all it does is go to their homepage. It doesn't even go to their quote page. So if you're really looking at trying to be competitive on different channels, social ads is also very cheap. If someone goes to your website and they don't convert, that's a huge opportunity for you to then go in there, launch a couple ads that are working, and stay in front of their customers, because they're not advertising in the space. You're not competing with their ads, and you are showing ads to people that are relevant. And also in general, converting on social ads tends to have a cheaper cost per lead. Now, with that being said, a huge takeaway from the Facebook and Instagram and TikTok side of the world is when those people convert, it's not like when they're on Google and they're looking to call a moving company right then and there. they're on social media. They're looking at memes, pictures of their family, pictures of their family's pets. It's not a place you go to conduct business necessarily. But if you can target people who have recently visited your site and give them offers to come back and fill out an estimate if they didn't go to your thank you page because they never filled out an estimate, it's very affordable. And if you're paying at all for anyone to come to your site, whether you put up a billboard or a business card or an ad online, you might as well put that little extra penny out there to try to reel them back in because you're already in front of people who are qualified to work with you. So since Google Ads didn't have any data that we could look at from our third-party tracking or from the ad account that we are given access to, we're going to pull up the revenue report card. So the revenue report card, aka the revenue calculator, is a tool that we built in order to help people with projections on what it is that they're trying to accomplish with their advertising. So we're going to go through and we're going to show you how to use this tool so you can use it on your own. Anytime you're trying to decide where you want to put your next dollar and your advertising effort for your business to make sure you get the return that you're looking for. So the way that this works is, first of all, you have your daily ad spend, which is this section, this quadrant. At $2,500 a month, your daily ad spend is $83. Total annual ad spend is $30,000. Our typical monthly retainer is $2,500 a month. So same cost. This is your total annual fee to have a full marketing program for Google. This is just for us as an example. We include Google local service ads, Google guaranteed, Google Maps ads. We also include Bing, we include YouTube, and we include banner ads. All of those we also include remarketing with, all for the one cost. So that's just as an example. Looking at your average cost per click, if we go into the report that we pulled directly from Google Ads, it ranges. So you have low range fee costs for budget, and then in Austin, on the higher end, it can get more expensive. Let's go ahead and freeze that top row so it's easier to look at. Anywhere between, for long distance, you're upwards of 50 plus. For local, you're between 10 and 20. This is pretty average for the areas that we're looking at. For not position number 1, for positions 2 and 3, it could be anywhere between $2 to $10. We try to optimize our campaigns so that we're beating out the competition with quality score, which favors us in the auction and brings your cost per click down. Plus, once you have a couple conversions through the systems that we run, we switch to optimize for conversion, not optimize for cost per click. So at that point in time, we're bidding on leads and people who are going to be helpful to us, not necessarily just people searching for random items. So for worst case scenario, let's just go ahead and do worst case scenario and enter in a cost per click of 20. At a conversion rate of 10% on your website, for the amount spent at $2,500 a month at $20, you're looking at 12.5 leads. Let's say out of all the leads that you generate, you get to talk to 70 of them in order to give them an estimate. You've gathered more info at that point. From there, let's say you're closing 70% of the people that you talk to. Again, these are the green rows are numbers that you can change. So again, you can go in here and play with these numbers to try to create an idea of what you can expect. And let's put the average value per move at 1,000. And then let's change the profit margin to 25%. Let's get the worst case scenario on the table right now. First things we're looking at is that your net profit negative with this campaign, right? And the reason being is the numbers, they don't line up into your favor. So the first thing that we want to talk about is services. If you look at the actual services that you're offering, the first picture that we see here is packing. Are we doing packing? We are. Packing and moving together tend to double the estimate. Packing, moving, and unpacking can triple, quadruple it. But what we've seen is when somebody does a moving job with packing, and if it's a house of a 3-2 with a family, we're looking anywhere between 3 to 6. So we're going to put this in at 4,000. Because this campaign is now only driving leads that are for specific types of jobs that are going to generate more revenue. Okay? Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this cost per click down because we're going to optimize your campaign so that you're not paying as much per click. Also, we're going to change the things on your website that are not necessarily conversion friendly, like your home page above the fold section. We're going to put a short form right there with the phone number. We're going to change the color of those buttons and that background. We're going to increase your conversion rate from 10% to 15%, just 5%. Start to look at these numbers and how they evolve with your net profit is huge. Let me run this back real fast. At first, we're just trying to do anything we can. We don't have any strategy in place. We're just paying for ads. Your net profit negative to a big extent. First thing we're doing, fixing the job total. We're not going to work on any estimates that are cheap. Even if this was 2,000, you're working in the right direction from being negative 226%. If you can just get your level of estimate up, now we can play with the rest of the numbers. So let's just leave this at even 2,000. Let's change the conversion rate to 15%. You're almost break even. Let's lower the cost per click by just $5 a click. You're now net profit positive. Let's go ahead and lower our marketing retainer to help you get started. You're now 34% net profit positive. Now from here, let's just increase your ad spend by 500. Let's say you're generating a net profit positive result and you have more money to put in. Let's put $500 in more. You're at 34.69% right now. We're putting $500 more in. You're now at 38% profit margin. That's because of how these numbers feed into each other, how much more you spend based off of how many more results you can get from how many more leads you can generate means that you're going to be able to generate more jobs. Reason being is your conversion rate gives you more leads to then give more estimates to then close more sales. Okay? So that's a real important thing. Now let's say we bring up that job average just 500. You're at 51% profit margin. The core takeaway from this is don't just run ads. Don't just run SEO. Drive revenue generating business to your website. Fix the website's conversion rate issues that you do have with that long form and weird positioning of the buttons and colors and text on the background images, and make it so that people can easily convert on your website. And there's no reason why you won't be net profit positive. The system that we run works for anybody who follows the operations process that we recommend, and then also the strategies that we recommend as well. There's some things that we can't control. You know, if you don't call your leads back, that's one thing. But if you're putting forth the effort and you're getting on the phone in front of these people, let's say you only talk to 50% of your leads. You're still net profit positive. Let's say you close even less. You're barely making anything there. But the main point of this is this. These numbers can change based off of the things that we do. Not just us as a company, but also what you do and what we do as people working together. Likewise, if you're to work with Tom, Dick, or Harry, some guy down the street who charges even half of what we could lower this to, because $1,500 is the lowest we'll ever go, well, let's hope that they know there's much strategy. You know what I mean? Because at this point, you're not really just going to be investing in ads. You're investing in an overall program that's made to work. So I wanted to get this out to you. Thank you for your patience. We've been very busy, and I've been dealing with some other personal issues with family. Everything's squared away. We're ready to help you with whatever you need. Looking for the Q&A. Looking forward to the Q&A section of this report card so that we can talk more detail about what we can do for you. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. Thank you for your time.